Thanks for joining us for another episode of Elevated. Today we're talking flash versus continuous light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We quite often get that question, what should I choose, LED or flash? And I would say there's no clear answer to that question. It so depends on what you're after, to be honest. And I often start with what kind of use case are you going for? LEDs, like this fantastic product, has the benefits of what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
For some people makes it a lot easier. And you can also combine both videos and stills in the same bay, which, is highly good for your workflow efficiency.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's really down to what you want to achieve, because we were talking earlier and it was continuous light is great for stills, but it's not optimum, right?
No, it's not. And that's one of the things that I think is a very common misconception when it comes to LEDs. This is 1,600 watts. This puts out with a reflector on 50,000 lux at 5 meters. So it's hugely powerful. You can't look into it, basically. But I quite often do a kind of fun comparison when it comes to these things. And this little beauty, the Profoto E2, 100 watt second, very tiny flash, roughly the size of a Coke can. And the watt equivalent that you require to match this one with an LED. Can you guess what that is, Matt?
Bit less than this?
Nowhere near.
Really?
A lot higher.
Wow.
What you would need actually in order to match the power of this one in a LED is roughly 5,000 watts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to capture, texture, if you want to capture details like buttons or zippers and really, create a feeling of either the fabric or material that you're trying to promote, I would definitely say go for a workhorse flash like the Profoto Pro D3.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's the thing, fantastic to have video and to light it up and show movement and so on.
Yeah.
But if you really want to freeze action, there's no way you're going to do that with any amount of...
No. I mean, there is no continuous light in the world. It doesn't matter if you pull out an 18K HMI, you will never, ever get even remotely close in terms of power output, flash duration, that a flash like the Pro D3 can do. Again, it's entirely up to the user and the needs that you might or might not have. But and especially if you're outdoors, I mean, this LED products, I wouldn't say it's useless, but it's very limited in use, and you have to use flashes in order to be able to capture anything.
And even this little guy is going to overpower the sun or complement the sun, right?
I think, this, 100 watt seconds is together with this reflector, yes. Without it, with a bare head or a soft light shaper, I would say it's not enough. Then you would need to go higher, at least 250 watt seconds or 500 watt seconds.
But you touched on something there, duration. I think that's something really important, because people will measure that and say, oh, but it seems to have enough light.
Yeah.
But actually, it's the duration. Like if you have a still photo, yes, it's got a certain amount of, f-stop and you can have a look, but actually the duration, all of that power, you need a much longer shutter to be able to capture that still.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you want to capture movement, that's impossible.
Yeah.
Then you have to go with a flash that has very short flash duration.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just impossible.
Yeah, and I think that's something that people, when they're shooting stills with continuous light, that's the bit that's missing for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I always say that. Xenon isn't going anywhere. Flash will always be here because it has its uses that nothing else can actually, give the user. Because the amount of energy you can put out of a xenon flash at a blink of an eye is so incredibly high.
Yeah.
So it always will be there, but still we here per photo. I mean, we listen to our customers, we see them. We know a lot of people really love taking stills with LED, but then mainly indoors for certain use cases, like, could be portraiture or, PDP images, etc. It all depends on like what you're after.
Yeah, and of course, they are getting more versatile, right? Because camera technology is changing.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got ISOs now that you can go up to with no noise, and that does become then attractive to use those continuous light products.
And I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, we do tests here all the time, right? And one of the things that we try to figure out, okay, so how many watts do you actually need in order to do, basic, photography? I'm talking portraiture.
Yeah.
And like you can, with today's camera sensors, you can get away with 200 watts, 150 watts even.
Yeah.
It could actually do quite a lot. So I wouldn't necessarily see, LED or xenon as two competing technologies. I think they rather complement each other in a really cool way.
Horses for courses, really.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like one thing that nobody's really tapped into yet, and I personally look forward to like seeing what people will do, and that is combining LED with xenon. Of course, I mean you can't go full force on the xenon because that will kill all of the light from the LED. But if you're working on very low power levels, subtle flashes, then it can complement an LED in a fantastic way.
Yeah.
And that's something that people really haven't started to experiment with to a larger scale anyway. So I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen with that.
Yeah, just put lots of NDs on your flash.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing that's also good to mention, I think, is the strain on the model's eyes.
Yeah.
Because if you have, a light like we have right now on us, that's fine for a short duration. But if you can almost get snowblind, by having the continuous light.
Yeah.
Whereas flash, it's like it's there and it's gone. And of course, if you look directly in it, you're going to burn your retina.
Yeah, and I agree completely with you. And like I've heard models, complaining about like standing in front of like 1,000 watts a full day. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you diffuse it with a scrim or whatnot, or use a softbox. One of the big challenges with constructing really good, super powerful LEDs is like, how do you get rid of the heat?
Yeah.
And that is a limiting factor still. But I mean, we have managed with this fantastic product to find a new way of cooling LEDs, utilizing liquid cooling technology that we call Hydro-CTEC, which is a much more efficient than the traditional heat pipe solutions or fans. Yeah. And it's also a lot more compact. So it makes, the product, I mean, this is 1,600 watts, but it still only weighs roughly just below 12 kilos or 25 pounds.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, I've shown it to a few people, and when you mentioned that, oh, by the way, where's the ballast, and how come it's cool to touch?
Yeah,
they're amazed, and then you mention water cooling, and they're just blown away.
Yeah, exactly. And like another feature, we're standing here with other lights around us that aren't as forward thinking like this one. They're very loud, and we have good mics here, so you won't pick up the sound, but we can hear it. That's one other of the fantastic benefits of this product with the liquid cooling technology. Is super silent.
Yeah, fantastic. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing. I mean, this was a massive eye opener. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah. I mean, when I learned it the first time, I was like, that can't be true.
Yeah,
I had to go check it out. So. But it's a lot of energy in a very, very short split of a second, and like even a small flash like this can put out a lot of energy.
Yeah, superb. Well, every day is a learning day. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me,
and thanks for joining us. And see you on the next one. Okay,
ciao.